A lot of things can happen when you're out at sea and on a cruise, but this last week, I witnessed something that blew my mind. Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for coming into the video today. Well, we are finally home. We have been on a long trip, ending with our Broadway group cruise. And of course, for those of you that have been following along the channel, I was on that group cruise alone while Jared was with his family. I was able to go from the group cruise over to Nebraska to be with Jared and his family and attend his grandfather's funeral. And then he and I got home last night. We're so thankful to everyone here on the channel who sent support and love. We cannot thank you enough for this community because truly this community is our core base of people. And we love you all. Now, I know you didn't sit here and click into this video to watch me get sappy, so we're gonna get into the story time today, but I do just wanna invite you to subscribe to the channel. We are getting closer and closer every day to our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Please be a part of the first 100,000 JJ crew. Hit that subscribe button, and while you're down there, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. One of our favorite things to do here on the channel is talk about our experiences on cruise ships, whether they be good, bad, ugly, or just straight up bizarre. We have experienced quite a few things in our almost 90 cruises that we've taken in the last 2.5 years. And sometimes we get a little flack for telling these stories online. We ruffle some feathers, we offend some people. And look, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, there is a basic law of humanity here, especially in today's story, that is just a big no-no when you are on a cruise ship, or let's be honest, when you're at land as well. September 8th, I woke up in my hotel room in New York City without Jared. He had already left to go be with his family and his dying grandfather, and I was bracing myself for a week with our JJ crew. If you haven't been on a group cruise, we do a lot of awesome fun activities on group cruises, but normally there's two of us to help entertain and kind of run the program for the week. So I was trying to just get my head in a space to prepare for the week to come, everything that I had to do, going through my checklist. I had quite a hard time getting from New York City to the port in Bayonne, New Jersey. If you're taking a cruise out of New York anytime soon, staying in New York City is obviously the most fun, but I kind of wish I would have stayed in New Jersey because it took me a lot of money and a long time to get from Times Square over to Bayonne. But that's a story for another time. I finally make it on board the ship, and I've got several bags with me full of different prizes, different things that I'm bringing on board for our group cruise. And I step into the elevator lobby. Now, I will say this, the elevators on Symphony of the Seas, which was where our group cruise was, were not running well the week that we were there last week. I felt like every single time I stepped out of my room and waited on an elevator, it was like for 10 or 15 minutes. So I ended up taking the stairs a lot, which was, let's be honest, a lot healthier for me. But I digress. So I get into the elevator lobby with all of my bags. I'm thinking through the list of everything that I have to do, what I need to do first, and trying to really get my bearings. When the cruise director came on and made an announcement talking about the muster drill, how you have to get that done, also talking about a couple of other activities, it was a rather kind of long announcement. That announcement was followed by another announcement in Japanese. Now, when sailing out of the United States, that isn't normal, especially for Royal Caribbean. You normally don't hear announcements in other languages unless there is a large group of people on board that need to hear that announcement. There was just so happened to be a large group of people from Japan. That's great. They get their own announcement so that they know exactly what to do. Well, this announcement hardcore triggered the woman in the elevator lobby next to me because she went off. She started to rant and rave about why announcements aren't in English anymore and all of these other languages shouldn't be in America. And then she walked over to me and she said, "Can you believe this? Can you believe that they're doing an announcement not in English? I certainly hope that all of the announcements this week are not in multiple languages." I took a breath. I gave her one of these. Like, I knew that I couldn't open up my mouth because I was so overwhelmed in the moment by everything I was thinking about doing that I knew if I would have responded to her, I probably would have said something that would not have been very kind because I was shocked that this woman would be that triggered and upset by another language being spoken on a cruise ship. But what she did next was so mind-blowing to me, I could barely even believe it. On the other end of the elevator lobby, there was a group of Japanese people. They were standing there waiting for an elevator just like I was. She then goes to them and gives them the same rant and rave that she just had right next to me and asks them, can you believe that they put something in a different language other than English? These people looked at her so confused because these poor people did not speak English. I'm going to be honest, I ended up walking away and walking to the other elevator lobby because I knew that I was probably minutes away from cracking because I was already broken for Jared. My heart was completely broken that I could not be with him, that I was not with him. And on top of that, I was just overwhelmed trying to think of everything that I needed to get done and do that day for the group cruise and prepare myself for an amazing week ahead. Our group cruises are some of our favorite weeks. We get to see some of our favorite people, and every single time we end up meeting new friends and making incredible memories with our crew. So I had a lot on my mind, and I knew that I had to step away. Otherwise, I was probably going to say some really, really unkind things to this lady in front of other people. And I try my best to hold it together, especially in moments like that. All of that to say, my mind was blown that this woman went to this other group of people and complained to them right after complaining to me. I wish in that moment I could have had my composure a little bit more together just to give her a very calm reaction. But I could not roll my eyes hard enough at her, which I did, and I could not stand to stay there and listen to her rant and rave anymore. That lady better not go on MSC because they do all of their announcements in 6 or 7 languages, pending who's on board, so that they can be completely all-inclusive and all-encompassing to every single person on board. You don't have to look hard to know that Jared and I travel a lot, and we go all around the world. We just spent 3 weeks in Japan. We've spent a lot of time in Europe over the last couple of years. Major cities all around the world have a lot of English-speaking people. Places like Rome and Barcelona are just to name a couple. English is not the first language that is spoken there in those countries, but they do it to be hospitable and try and help people that are from other countries that may speak English get around. For those of us living in America, it doesn't hurt us to hear other languages and have a sense of hospitality and welcome to other people that are visiting from different places in the world. This woman made me so upset because these people were here on vacation, visiting from Japan, and they had every right to understand the process and what they needed to do and how they needed to muster and maybe what was going on that day that they wanted to partake in. I'm going to leave it off there because I'm getting too upset, but I want you to tell me in the comments below, what do you think about this situation? Honestly, the situation is blatantly racist. She was being prejudiced against those that don't speak English, which is in fact the definition of racism. I completely denounce this woman's actions, and I think that she was absolutely ridiculous. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me or disagree, and if you were standing there in my position, would you have opened up your mouth and said something, or would you have walked away like I did? If I could have gone back, I would have tried to calmly approach her and say something, but in the moment, I was so overwhelmed and so anxious about my day that I knew that would have turned into a situation that I probably would have regretted. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to leave a comment on your way out. If you could subscribe, hit the like button. Again, my name is Jordan. This is JJ Cruz. And until next time, see ya.